Hi, we are at Knox Infolink. We are about to meet the people who run this place. They serve the Knox community. Just a wonderful organization, wonderful people. Let's go meet them.
Hi Yoshi, nice to see you again.
Nice to meet you. Okay. Hi everyone, this is Denise, who is the manager here at Knox Infolink. Thank you, Denise, for taking the time to talk to us. Now tell us, Knox Infolink, what do you guys do? What are you all about?
Okay, so Knox Infolink is a service that's been around for 27, nearly 28 years, and we are a community information and referral service, and we are also one of the largest emergency relief services in the area, and our boundary is Knox, and the sort of things that we do is the emergency relief provides food parcels, vouchers, meat vouchers, chemist vouchers, Mikey cards, Telstra Assist, pool passes. We run a NILS program, which is a no interest loans program, so that clients that need to replace fridges, washing machines, get repairs done to their car, they can get a loan that's no interest loan. So that's quite a large program. We provide casework as well, but it's limited casework because our funding is relatively tight. So what we do with the limited funding that we have our emergency relief coordinator and our wonderful volunteers who do so much work, and we can sometimes do casework for the clients. So that's.
So Denise, as we were walking in, there were a number of brochures on the walls on both sides, on even here as well. Tell us a little bit about that, because you're sort of a referral service as well?
Absolutely, because the history of Knox Infolink was that we were a citizens advice bureau many years ago, and that's where we all started, where it was an information referral service. So we have grown from that to provide emergency relief and the other services. But information is critical because not only do clients come in for food support, but it's important for our volunteers and staff to know what other services are around and be able to refer them appropriately, so that you're not just addressing initially, here's a bag of food, off you go, bye-bye, see you later. Because it's really important that you unpack what is going on in a person's life, and sometimes they're ready to address it. Sometimes a brochure is a great tool that you can give them and say, maybe you want to think about this, and when they come back the next time, maybe they're ready to address it. So the brochures around here, there's about 300 different brochures. So we've tried to group them into groups. So we've got support services out there where you've walked in the entrance, we've got legal services, we've got accommodation and housing support services, we've got education, beyond blue, so depression, those sort of things. You will, whatever you think of, there's probably a brochure here somewhere on the wall, and if we don't have a brochure on the wall, the other thing that we do, we have a database that we are constantly updating, particularly your very local services that we can refer to. So we encourage the volunteers to go onto the database and find out what services are available, and if there's a brochure that matches that service, they can walk away with a brochure as well for the client.
Awesome. Well, Denise, you're going to take us a tour around the office.
I am.
And show us what you guys actually do here.
Okay.
So where are we going to start?
Well, you've walked in the front door, so let's pretend we're a client.
Yep.
Okay, so if we walk in the front door, the first thing that you're going to see will be reception. And we have our lovely volunteer Nikki here, who is one of our, what we refer to as CSWs. They're community support workers, but they have multiple roles. A community support worker does interviewing with clients, and they've done a 50-hour course to ensure that they have the right skills to address people that are in distress, be able to unpack their personal situation, but also they do administration, reception, so you get
everything effectively.
Everything. So you get greeted by the receptionist, and then there is often food on this table that's just beside the reception area. Unfortunately, it's empty at the moment because you've come in
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, and this lonely loaf of bread is more than what we usually have on the table. But the idea of this table is that we have bread and some fruit and vegetables and any excess grocery items that we don't have to be so strict with our accountabilities, that people can come in off the street and grab a bag and get some items to take away. But the receptionist, the role is to try and engage with as many people as possible, because the idea is to interview the client and do an assessment of what their actual needs are.
So not anyone who asks for something may get what they specifically want?
No.
So there's a vetting process by basically trained professionals, if I can use that?
Yes, we're not an alternative to the supermarket. We are addressing immediate need, which is food, but we also want to find out what's going on in the client's life. So we have the food table, which people can come in, which is an entry point. So the receptionist can say, oh, how are you going today? You know, do you want an interview? That's trying to get them engaged.
All right, well, that's fantastic, Denise. Well, there's a couple of people we want to meet, and then you can show us that side of the office.
Okay.
And then we'll take a tour on the inside of the office.
And we have 3 interview rooms, but our 4th interview room, which is down the end here, we host Uniting Harrison 4 days a week, and this is Caroline, who is the Hope housing worker. This has been a fabulous partnership with Uniting Harrison, because we have clients that are the same. 95% of our clients are tenants, and many of them will have housing issues. Those that are in threat of being homeless or are homeless, it's an easy walk down the passageway to Caroline or to Mark, who are here, to get direct assistance. So that partnership has been such a fabulous addition since about August last year. So, awesome. And then we go through. There is Anne, who is our emergency relief coordinator, and there is Glenn, who is our information coordinator, who's obviously just about to dash off, and she's just got caught on the video. So you've just walked into this area, and behind you, Yoshi, is the area that we refer to as our operations space, which is for the volunteers. They have 2 computers where they do their data entry after interviewing clients, but we have a whole raft of resources that we tuck away in every single corner of this office. So when you look around, there is no spare space. Anne's office, which is behind you, we have our homelessness goods, and she might like to just walk you in there and just talk about the homelessness goods.
I guess we've changed the way that we look at homelessness. We realise that food's not the only thing that we can do. So we have everything from socks and underwears to thermal underwears for winter. Thermals provide heat but without fog. We've got swag, sleeping bags. We have things like towels, shoes, cutlery, metal plates, bowls and cups, so that you can warm food up on local barbecues. If you're homeless, you often don't have somewhere to cook. So we're trying to look at how can we, in small items, provide things to clients that are homeless that are going to be useful but not too bulky. So we have small frying pans, that sort of thing as well.
So everything here is brand new?
Everything here is brand new.
Where do you source all the stuff from?
Wherever's cheapest.
Yeah.
So we like a bargain.
Yeah.
We don't like to pay full price if we don't have to. So
I like a bargain too.
Wherever anything is on sale, I will hunt it down.
Yeah.
We've turned tea towels into like bags, so that you can put your cutlery and your plates and things in there, still have something to keep it dust free, but to be able to keep it clean, that sort of thing. Shoes are a problem. Socks. It's really important that sometimes having a clean pair of socks, you don't realise what a difference that actually makes. So we keep socks and things as well. Sun cream. If you're living out in the open, then sun cream becomes a big issue, that sort of thing. But having soap, towels, we do things for the pool so that clients can have a shower and just feel clean. that sort of stuff. So we try to think outside of the square. It's not just food that's a need, it's other things as well within our budget.
So you have a budget, and Denise, I'll ask both of you this question.
Yes.
Both of you are full-time, getting paid lots of money to do this, I'm sure.
No, we're
Oh,
not.
yes, Yoshi, of course we are. No, we're not. Our funding is one of the biggest issues that we have, because our two main funding sources are through the Knox Council, and they provide a level of operational funding, and we also get funding from the Department of Social Services, which is primarily for the purchase of food. We have the equivalent of 2.8 full-time staff, and that is spread across 5 people. So you can see that that's not a lot of hours for each role. Anne is the Emergency Relief Coordinator, and her role is 18 hours a week, and that is spread across 3 days. I'm funded for 25 hours a week, and I work 3 long days. And Glenn, who just walked out, was the Information Coordinator, and her role is 11 hours a week. And then we have a bookkeeper who happens to be here as well at the moment. So the funding is very limited, and we do struggle a bit to make sure that we cover things, but the work is done by a wonderful team of volunteers. We've got about 30 odd volunteers who are rostered on morning and afternoon shifts 4 days a week, and we never leave volunteers on their own. They require lots of mentoring and support, which Anne oversees, so that they're never exposed to situations that they're not equipped to handle, and then they can always come in and get advice from Anne or myself of a situation that's a bit outside the square, or occasionally you'll get people that are not extremely happy. So you sometimes have to be fairly delicate in the way that you're handling them. So yeah.
Let's take a tour of the rest of the office.
Sure.
And you can show us what you guys actually do on a day-to-day basis.
Sure. Okay.
So we go that way.
And we will go that way. And I'm going to let Anne give you a bit of a guide, because Anne is the one that does all the ordering of the food. And so what you're going to see is the pantry around the corner and hampers a little bit in another space. So I'll let you guide Yoshi about what we do.
Okay.
Let's go.
So this is one of our main storerooms, our store area. So everything you see on this side of the room is the food items that go into our food parcels. So this is food that we've purchased with money from our government grant. All new, all within best before and use by dates. So that makes up our standard food parcels, and we top that up as regular as we need, but mostly fortnightly. On this side of the room, we've got over here dietary requirements. So we've got some clients that are gluten-free, lactose-free, that sort of thing. So we're trying to have items on the shelves that are more appropriate for people with their dietary requirements. And this shelf here are our snack pack requirements, and for people that are living homeless. So for people that are living in supported accommodation, they get meals provided, but often they're not enough to sustain them. And as you all know, you probably like to have a cup of coffee and a biscuit a couple of times, in the day. So with these items, we're just able to give that little bit extra that they can't afford, because the amounts that you're paying in supported accommodation are usually quite a large chunk of your Centrelink payment. So it just gives people the ability to then sit down and have a cup of coffee with a biscuit. Also, with people that are living homeless, they don't have storage, refrigeration, so we try to use single-use food items. So stuff that's quick and easy, 2-minute noodles, soup, single-serve baked beans, pasta and that sort of stuff, because storage and refrigeration is a problem. Okay. So that's mainly the food that's in this area, and this is all funded from the money that we get with our grants. So if you come out this way.
Now we'll have to apologise for our loud freezer. It's on the way out. and it's just decided to give us its loud burst of noise at the moment.
That'll be one of the things you would like replaced, hopefully.
Yes, we will need to. We had the technician out late last year because it started to leak and they had to take seals off, and he said it's not going to last for much longer. But that's something that's on the wish list. So I apologise for the loud noise that we now have as our background.
Is that going to go on forever?
No, it doesn't.
Is it going to explode?
It sounds like it,
Okay,
but no.
fine, okay, good.
No, it will cut
I'll
out.
step back.
Okay,
Yes.
no, it's safe. We leave it. We work it here. So these two cupboards here are our food bank items and food that's donated by local churches, individual people, maybe some different groups. So this is stuff that's come in. It's been checked to make sure that it's within the use by dates and best befores that we can use. And this is the extra that we can give clients. So with our funding, we can give them a food parcels, but depending on their situation, they might need extras. So these cupboards allow us to add that little bit more. We get some weird and wonderful items from Food Bank, and sometimes it's interesting to have a look at and think about what we might use that for, but that's part of the fun. So we keep that stocked, and at the moment it's looking pretty good. Some days it's pretty empty, but at the moment it's pretty good. And then the noise you can hear is our fridge and our freezers. We pick up, it's nearly empty, we pick up bread from the local bakery every Wednesday night, and we pack it and store it for the week, and we put it out every day on the table. So clients are able to come in and just get bread and take it as they need it. So, which is a really good thing to be able to offer without an interview or anything like that. And we get frozen foods from Food Bank. Again, it's a bit empty at the moment. At that age, sometimes we can get meat. We get all sorts of vegetables, all sorts of different things, which again just allows us to add that little bit extra on the client's parcels. With Food Bank, you also get yogurt, milk, and maybe cold meats and stuff, whatever they've got available. So we can do that as well. Come on through. This is where we store our packed parcels. So our volunteers will pack parcels in advance so that they're all stock standard, so that once we're interviewing we can give out parcels to the clients in an efficient way. And it helps us with knowing what we've got left on the shelves. We also have things like nappies for people with babies, cat and dog food, which we get from Food Bank because some people prefer to feed their dogs over themselves, so we try and keep some of that as well to help that. We have toys up the top here that throughout the year for people that come in that have kids' birthdays or Christmas and things like that, we are able to give gifts as well. And over this side is our toiletry items. So toiletry items can be quite expensive, so we like to, where we can, give out basic toiletry: soap, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, toothbrushes, laundry powder when we can. It just takes pressure off. As you can see in these lovely containers here, we get a lot of donated blankets, scarves, beanies, and little odds and ends that we give out throughout winter, just for people to help keep warm, for babies and the like. So we stock a range of different things that we feel will help our clients and get donated, and we find the best home for them. But yeah, as you can see, we don't have a lot of room, but we do the best we can with what we've got.
So thank you for taking us through, Denise, and both you and Anne. And well, I have one last question before we close, to both of you for that matter. And one thing that became very obvious to me when I first met with you, and you were up and down every 10 seconds and the office wasn't even open yet. I want to ask you guys this question. Why do you do this? Because you obviously are doing it, well, not for the money, because of the amount of money that you're being paid for. There's a joy that I sense, there's a frustration as well. I sense that comes about when you do this. So, Denise, why do you do this?
Well, it actually occurred to me about 30 odd years ago. I've been working in the community sector for 30 years. We fell on hard times, and I had to seek assistance, and the service that I sought assistance from was so helpful, so caring, and I will never be able to repay them for the support that they gave them. And it made me realise that I wanted to give back to the community. And I get a great deal of satisfaction knowing that we are helping a wide range of people. I've worked in all sorts of areas over the 30 years, consumer and tenancy and the legal service, and now in the welfare agency. And each different sector, we are doing a different support for the community. But this welfare support is really capturing the people that are in the most need. And I couldn't think of a nicer way to be able to give back to the community and see somebody walk out the door that we've actually helped.
And I'm sure you share similar reasons.
Absolutely.
Tell us why.
I think God gave me a heart for people that were in need. I've been working in community care for, I think, about 15 years. First within the church, and then at Knox Infolink. I started as a volunteer and worked my way up to now the coordinator. And I just love to show compassion and to help people out. Sometimes we can't solve the problems. Sometimes we can't do anything, but we can listen. We can show compassion, and we can show people that we care and that they're valued. And I think even though we can't solve the problems, if we've made somebody feel valued today, then we've done our jobs. It would be nice if we could send them out and have fixed all the problems. We can't. But to be part of, and be privileged to be a part of people's journey, I think is why we get out of bed every day.
Yeah.
And without that, it's not the money. But we do interact with a lot of great people, with a lot of great volunteers and staff members. But I think it's nice to know that if I was in that situation, what would I do? What would I need? And that's why we try and fill that, I think.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for your time. Thank you for the wonderful work that you do. I met you sometime last year. I was very inspired. Thank you for the commitment, the sacrifice, the smiles. It really makes a difference to the volunteers as well. Keep up the good work. Hopefully this won't be I'm pretty sure this will not be the last time I have a chance to talk to you guys. Hopefully we have a relationship here on between the church, between you guys and us, and we'll see what we can do going forward from here. So thank you. Thank you.
Yoshi, I'd like to thank you for your interest in supporting our community agency and our Knox community in general, because nobody can do it on their own, and it's a partnership. The more partners and friends we have doing it, the greater impact we're going to have too. So thank you.
Right. Thank you.